Alrighty then. We are streaming here. Alright. What's up, guys? Just waiting for some people to tune in here. I'm going to show you exactly how I work in my editing process. Alright. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright. Cool. So audio is working. We're going to just wait for a few people to tune in. You might have to do this in full screen for some odd reason. I don't know why it's not capturing this in full screen. I don't know why. Let me check Wirecast for a second here. Alright, I want to make sure it's full screen, but it just doesn't look like it will be full screen. So we're just going to have to work with this. If you're a pro at Wirecast, let me know. Alright, so I just finished a video with Rob Riches, who is a fitness guru, fitness trainer up on YouTube. He has over 450,000 subscribers, over 1 million followers up on Facebook, and he hasn't released this video yet, so I can't show you the whole thing, but let me show you bits and pieces of it so you can see how I manage to do this type of shooting. Alright, so let's go ahead and play a little bit of it.
Guys, and Rob Riches. On today's workout, we'll be taking a look at shoulders.
Okay, so let me just talk to you about my reasoning behind all of this. Alright, so I do have a reasoning behind why I am doing all these things with this shot. Okay, but first off, I want to make sure that I can do this live stream, and full screen is just not letting me for some weird reason. But anyway, yeah, let's keep going. Alright, so we're going to talk about the intro, how I shot this, how I edited it. I'm going to open up Final Cut and show you exactly what I did. But before I do that, I want to talk about some logistical things on some of the decisions I made with this video. First of all, the average attention span of a human being is about 8 seconds. So if you notice with my cursor, the real intro, the eye popper, comes out at 5 seconds. So this is how you're going to captivate your audience. My goal right now, and I'm sure for the future will always be with Rob Riches, with his videos, is to want the audience, to make the audience want to work out, right? That's my goal with his videos, is to show them what's going on and to pump them up for a workout. So I did that by making some cool flashy, transitions, some cool color correction, using the Steadicam to make it seem like the camera's flying in front of Rob, and just really give that grungy, badass type of feeling. So I really wanted to do that with these videos, and it looks like I've been doing his videos for the last, I don't know, it was four or 5 months already. So it's really coming across very, very well. All right. Cool. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to open up Final Cut Pro. All right. And let me go ahead and pop in here. All right, what's up, guys? Do you see me? Do you see me? All right, so I need to change the audio source here. Okay, so I am back. All right, what's up, guys? So let me get everything set up here on my computer to make sure that everything is up and running. All right, and then we'll be on our way so I can show you what's going on with our edit here. Okay, so just give me 1 minute to pull up my files. And I also want to show you how I organize all of my files. All right. Todd, have I been enhancing his arms and chest? No, man, that's all natural stuff, bro. Okay, so Rob Riches. Yeah, so I'm going to show you all about organization, how you should organize your footage as well. And we're going to be opening this up in this is going to be all done in Final Cut Pro. Alright, just give me a minute or two here so I can just set more stuff up for you guys. I got the new I updated my Final Cut Pro to 10.3 because I ordered the new MacBook Pro with the touch bar. So it'll be exciting. I will do a review once I get the new MacBook on how I do things. Alright. So it's loading up here. It's taking a little extra time since I am... Oops. Hang on here 1 second. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to switch back to my screen capture in just a little bit. Everything is loading up, and I will be telling you exactly about my editing decisions here, why I did certain things. So it's very important to have a creative vision. It's very important to actually think about this process before you start editing. Like, what are your goals as a cinematographer, as a video editor? What are you trying to accomplish? All right. So, and that is what we're talking about in this video. And as I said before, you have 8 seconds, right, to capture an audience's attention. Our average attention span now as human beings is 8 seconds. So you need to be able to understand that and take action on it and use that statistic to your advantage. So as I showed you before, within 5 seconds, my intro starts. My intro starts within 5 seconds. And you should be asking yourself, why? And that's simply because of that 8-second rule. 8 seconds, 7 to 8 seconds is the average attention span. Okay? So that's why I wanted to pump up the audience. I wanted to pump up the audio and music and just make it pop, right? Okay, cool. And we're ready in about 20 seconds here. And I'll come back to my Final Cut screen. All right. Okay, I think we're ready. So I'm going to go ahead and launch Final Cut. Okay. And let's go ahead and cut back here. Okay, here we go. Here's Final Cut Pro, my friends. All right, this is 10.3. All right, here's 10.3. We're going to go ahead and talk about my timeline. What is going on here? It looks way better than Final Cut 10.2.6 or 0.3, I think it was. But look how modern and beautiful the new Final Cut looks. I am absolutely in love with it. It's things that I don't really like is that the generators and text are up here and not down here, along with the transitions and effects. But that's something I'll just have to get used to. All right, so let's go ahead and zoom in on my timeline and look at my editing choices here. So we have just talking clips, and then we have the intro popping in. Now right here, this is a generator called Grain and Flicker. I put that as an overlay. How did I do that? Well, as soon as I drag and drop the clip, I went over to the compositing area. And you can notice my blend mode is on add. So when I put it on normal, it really darkens the footage, and sometimes if you add smoke and stuff, it's just a black screen with smoke. So whenever you have like a black background or like a static solid color background, all you got to do is click on compositing and click add, and it acts basically like keyed footage. So it's keyed grain and keyed, keyed scratches and cool gritty stuff like that. If we click down here, we can take a look at some other effects here. I used Red Giant's Colorista 3. I left most of these selectors alone. What I really messed with were dropping down to highlights, using highlight recovery, adding a little bit of vignette, popping the footage, which basically pop in Colorista 3 means sharpening. So if I lower the slider, you can see that it's not as sharp as it used to be. So it really just adds that sharpening, but like I like that sharpening effect. It adds to that grit. And I lightened up the shadows a little bit because they weren't popping as much as I wanted them to. Hue stayed the same. Highlights, some of it was a little overexposed. That was my bad. So Colorista 3 does a really great job of manipulating that overexposed footage. So I was able to preserve a lot of it. If you look at the highlights here, before it was just really blown out, and thanks to my Sony a7S, I'm able to capture a lot of data and restore a lot of these highlights so you can actually tell it's a wall. So I was pretty happy about that. Now, here's the thing. Here's what a lot of editors don't know. They don't know that music actually plays one of the biggest roles in video editing. I edit a lot of my videos around music because music is the backline. It is the backbone. It is the underlying blueprint of your video. Music is a huge key. You will never see a cinematic video without music because music is what sets the tone. It's what sets the mood. It sets the pace, the tempo, and that really affects how your flow is of your video. All right, so let me see if there are any questions. Okay. All right, so we'll talk about timelines of the video in just a second. Let me just keep going with what I'm saying here. Thank you for your question, Todd. So Colorista 3 here, and all right. Okay, so that is the effect I applied here for my timeline, for my clip here, as you can see. And let's play it. It's really glitching here. It's lagging because I don't... Yeah, it's just lagging because I'm using Wirecast. But as you can see, he talks, and then boom, the music will come in, and there you go. And then right after that, we need to brand Rob Riches in this video. So after he does the walkthrough, the music sort of ends with like a big boom, and then his logo pops in. Right? So that's all part of branding. It's all very, I used a lot of strategy here. Some people are watching his video for the first time, so they got to see his logo, they got to see his branding, That's exactly how it is. And then, boom, it goes into him finishing the intro. The audience is already pumped and ready, and I have a cool hip-hop beat here underlying his voiceover. Next, let's talk about B-roll shots. Let's take a look at this clip really quick.
And also, don't forget to check out these guys. Fast as a brand new.
So when he's pointing to the clothes, right? We actually did this shot in a different take, but you can't tell. It's really fluid with how it looks. So it looks like there's two cameras on him. So I did this only with one camera. All I did was record his intro all the way through, and then I just did pickup shots separately, and I just stacked the pickup shot on top of the intro. So it really pulled through and made it look really, really fluid.
And also, don't forget to check out these guys. Fast as a brand new.
Alright, so it's really, really, really clean. Alright, let's scroll down the video. We get into the workout here, and we're shooting this at Gold's Gym in Venice Beach, California. So we shot inside and outside. So I wanted to come up with a really cool way to transition from being inside the gym to outside the gym. So what I did, I took out my Steadicam, and Steadicams, I'm telling you right now, Steadicams add so much production value to your work, you have no idea. So that's exactly what I did. I followed him from inside to outside. Check this out and look how cool it looks. Hopefully it doesn't lag though. Yeah, it lags. So I'm going to pull it up on the screen. Let's see here. 156. So check out how cool this looks at 150. Transitioning from inside to outside. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about my editing choices there. So, as you can see here, I added a really cool color correction effect here. This is all done on a Steadicam, and this is also another pickup shot. I did not have two cameras rolling at the same time. So it's actually really, really interesting because people at the gym were staring at us and like, why? This guy's just walking through the gym. Is that really what he's filming? So it was a little awkward. It was kind of funny though. But these are all pickup shots. You know, the Steadicam shots are all done in a different take. This is actually done when we're done filming. Filming the workout, that is, and we just shoot this separately. So it really makes it for a really, really cool video. The Steadicam really applies I say really a lot, but it applies a cinematic element to your footage, and it makes it a lot higher in production value. So it just turned out really, really great. And I shot this all at 60 frames a second, so I slowed it down in post. This is not real time. This is not real-time footage. This is all done in slow motion. So it's playing back at 30p. And we'll talk about some color editing choices that I made here. Okay? Alright, so just making sure everything's working. Good. Alright, so yes. So that's done in slow motion. Again, let's talk about my color correction here. I used what is called Magic Bullet Film. And this adds like a really cool film effect. It adds some grain, some tints there, and it just makes it look like it was shot on a film camera. So that's all I did with color correction. Magic Bullet Film actually applies a really, really realistic look to your footage, and it's worth every penny, guys. It's worth every penny. Alright, so next let's talk about this part here where he's talking into his phone. He's using Facebook Live. Why did I decide to shoot this? I thought it was very important to show his viewers, show his audience that he's not only just on YouTube, he's also on Facebook, and that they should check him out on Facebook Live as well. So I wanted to catch that on film and show people that they can catch him on other social media sites. And I have this cool lower third here by Stupid Raisins. This is a Final Cut Pro plugin. And it's a cool animation of a phone, and it's really, really awesome. And it just shows, you know, information about Rob's live stream. And you can tell that I did two takes, or two cuts. Him talking like this, and then cutting right to the phone with the lower third coming up, and boom, tells you exactly what's going on. And then back to the workout. So this all has to do with branding, you know, branding, and then showing people that Rob is versatile when it comes to social media. So he's on more than one site. Okay, so keep that in mind. Versatility is key. You don't want to be boring. If your client is doing something different, film it. Actually, my advice to you is just don't cut the camera. Just keep it rolling constantly. Alright, so let's see if there are any more questions here. Alright, so Todd, let me answer your question about videos being too long. Well, it depends what kind of video you are talking about. Workout videos can be ranging anywhere from 5 minutes to half an hour. I've done it before. Obviously, retention is not too great if videos are too long. You know, you want to keep your audience retention high. A good rate is about 45%. You want to keep your videos watched, at least half of them, half the time limit of your videos watched. It's a difficult thing to achieve. A high retention rate is very difficult. As you can tell, I went from over 10 people watching my live stream down to 5. So retention is really important. It's not only because of some people lose interest, and a lot of people just have other things that they have to do. So retention is very, 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 very important. Okay? So for instance, this video here is how long? It is 8:44, 8 minutes and 44 seconds. The last video I shot with Rob was about 16, 17 minutes. It was a chest workout, so there was a lot more things going on. But if you scroll through my timeline, my cuts are simple. My transitions are not complex. They're very straightforward, and they're not crazy transitions. My shots are great quality. I shot with shallow depth of field most of the time. So what did I do to achieve that? Well, since the Sony is a full-frame sensor, you get more light. And I also zoomed in up to 70 millimeters most of the shots. So I got this beautiful, beautiful shallow depth of field here, as you can see where my mouse is pointing. It's beautiful, beautiful. And you can see it also here when he's talking. You got this also shallow depth of field here. It gives you that 3D aspect that Rob is popping up from the background. So that's really important. And it was bright. So what I did, instead of using an ND filter, since I didn't have any on me, I just increased the shutter speed. So I think I was shooting at 1/300th of a second. And that darkened the footage. You don't want to close down your aperture if you want a shallow depth of field. You want to keep it open as wide as possible. That way you'll get that depth of field, that shallow depth of field. So I always shoot at an open aperture, and that also reduces the risk of seeing any dust on the sensor. So, when you close the aperture, the less light you'll see, the more sensitive the sensor gets to light. So if any minor thing is blocking the sensor, you're going to see it on your footage. So that's another reason why I open at wide aperture. Greatly decreases, significantly decreases the chance of you seeing any dust or artifacts in your footage. And let's go ahead and talk about the ending. I edited this just last night. It took me about 2.5 hours to edit. He does his closing statement. And then
stay motivated. I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.
Boom, his logo comes in. All right, again, that's another branding technique. You need to leave people with a brand. This is all, it's kind of, if you've ever taken a psychology class, this all has to do with neural linguistic programming. So this is practically programming the mind. Oh, Rob Riches. You see enough of Rob Riches' logo, then it's going to be implanted into your mind. So you're going to know who he is, where he is, what he's doing, and so on and so forth. And that increases the likelihood of you sharing Rob Riches' content with other people who don't know who he is. So branding is so important. And one of the best branders on the market right now is Nike. So they do that same way. All right. So any last minute questions, guys, before I sign off, please let me know. And let me know if you have any last minute questions. And thank you so much for joining in on this live stream. And I hope that this has helped you out. All right. So it looks like no one is asking any questions. So I'm going to sign off here. And I will talk to you very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.